Oh, sorry, I got like sauce on my face and shit. Anyway, about my project, I'm just kind of putting out there. There is like a habit, or like there is some readers who, I'm not gonna say refuse to show their face, but prefer not to show their face and just show their hands. And it's kind of a little bit of a dilemma in my mind because I prefer, like, personally, I prefer to draw faces, and I was kind of wanting to do their portraits more for the cards and stuff like that. So, with the readers who don't show their faces, I'm like, well, how, like, I did think about, like, doing things with just their hands, but I feel like, it sucks because a lot of the people who I listen to are more of just like they just show their, like, I mean, I do watch people who show their faces too, but there's like some really good ones that I listen to who do not show their face, and I'm like, oh, but like, like part of me is like, like it, for that fact alone, I should like disregard them, but me being more inclined to listening to them makes me want to put them in the compendium deck. So, it's just kind of a struggle. It's like, like, do I want the visual coherency or do I want to be more authentic? So that's what I'm struggling with right now, is like figuring out, because I did actually do art for some people who don't show their face, and I did it in a way where, like, I did the whole hand thingy and then I gave them like a symbol or what, like, basically the same thing that I do with the portrait ones, is like I do their face and then I do their symbol and like a pretty background. Like that's kind of like the elements of each image that I'm creating for the deck. So, it's like the portrait, or like, the reader themselves, their symbol, and then like a pretty background. That's kind of like that's the formula. But like I said, I'm still debating because it's like, well, I don't want there to be like so many like just hands, like I don't like, yeah, it's like this is becoming a little bit of like a, like I said, a dilemma for me. So, there's like upsides and downsides to going either way, because it's like, well, if I decide to not include people who don't show their faces, then that means I have to go find people to replace the ones that, like, basically my search would be, like, okay, so like for example, Major 777. I like listening to her quite a bit, but she doesn't show her face. And then Queen Amun-Ra I listen to, but she doesn't show her face. And that's the one that I did artwork for. But you know, like I have to think, like, I'm not a reader, I'm an artist. So I have to think of it in an artistic sense. And so I'm thinking, yeah, I might need to find people to replace them. And it kind of, I wouldn't like, it's not like, oh, it's like a big pain, but it's like, oh, I wish I wasn't so particular on this, but it is important to me. So I'm like, I need to be cohesive. I feel it's kind of like almost, like a project runway, or like, some sort of fashion show. You need to have like a collection, and it needs to be like, I mean, I don't know, like probably in a competition, people would be like, oh, this is not a cohesive set or whatever, blah, 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 blah. These are the things I'm worried about. Is the visual representation correct? And I don't know, like, I'm thinking, I have to build some sort of criteria for them to meet in order to have a cohesive set. So, and then I was like, yeah, hands versus faces. And I'm like, oh shit. But that takes out a lot of good players, if we said it like that. So it's like, ooh, I'll have to see. And see, the thing is, I can't, like, I would really know the answer if I could work on my artwork right now, and just kind of do kind of sketches, and, just kind of vibe it out and see. Because if I was like struggling doing the representation of just the hands, then that would be like a clear sign to me, like, no, you should just stick to faces because that's what you're good at, you know. Because like drawing a bunch of hands would be more complicated because they're a little bit more geometrical than faces, if that makes any sense. Like, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to figure it out, but we're going at it.